Okay, so we'll have a recap on the masking feature. Masking is for hiding a portion of a layer or a
Yeah.
shape or whatever it is. Okay, so here I'll start with an ActionScript 3.05. So we have the document open, and then now I'll bring here a picture file, import to stage. Okay, I have a picture here, and lock the layer, lock it, and now I'll make a new layer on top of it, and this layer will be using for a mask. This I'll name it
Okay.
as
That
mask layer.
selection. Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
I've
Okay.
named it as mask layer. Okay, and on this layer I'll draw a shape. Right, so this is a shape that I made. I don't want the border, so double click and delete. A simple mask is like if I place it here and right click, say mask, see this? So that is mask. The picture behind is displayed through the shape that we created. Okay, I don't want this to be the mask. Just undo. Okay, so the same technique, I'm going to place the shape maybe outside, and then 2 seconds, I expanded this or highlighted the two frames together. Now I'm going to press F6, and now in the for the mask layer, the last frame, I'm using the free transform tool and holding the Alt key, I'm stretching it. See, stretched it. Now right click and create a shape tween. Okay, a simple shape tween. It looks like this. And the same thing if you apply mask on this, right click, and I'm going to apply the mask. Look at this. So it's also a mask, but it is revealing something, right? For revealing something, we can use a mask, and this is an animated content. That's why it's showing like a revealing process. Okay, so that's also a mask, but this time we animated this. Okay, so that was a simple shape tween with a mask applied. Okay, when you mask something, it automatically locks all the layers, automatically locks it like this, and then even if you want to edit, just unlock, and you can see how it is working. See this, it's working like this. Okay, so that was
Okay.
a quick recap. Now again, another file, ActionScript 3.0, and this time I'm going to import a Photoshop file. I have already made it with two layers. I'll send the file, desktop, that is file here, soft drink, open. So this is a file, Photoshop file with two layers. So we know that this Animate supports Photoshop and Illustrator layers. So we have these two layers here. We want both the layers, and then click on import. Last time we created movie clip, because so many layers are there, we can select multiple layers and then make it into a single movie clip. But in this case, only two layers are there. I'm not going to make any movie clip, not necessary. Yesterday what we did was with the pizza boy and all, so many layers are there, so we combined it and made into one symbol for the pizza boy, for the background, like that. Here we don't want that, so just import it as layers. Okay, we are importing it as animate layers, convert layers to animate layers. That is, the Photoshop layers will be converted to animate layers. If in Photoshop two layers are there, in animate again it will be distributed in two layers. Now click on import. Look at this, we have these two pictures here. Okay, but here one extra layer is there. That is the original animate layer. We don't want this layer, so I'm going to delete this. So now we have two layers. Deselect and see this. These are the two layers. I'll select both. I want to scale this. Right, I dropped it here. I want to change the background color also. Control J for document properties. I'll make it into maybe a light gray. Right. So we have these two layers. The bottom one is orange color and the top one is yellow. Right. I'm blocking or locking these two layers. Both the layers are locked. Now we have orange and yellow layers here. And then I'll make a blank layer on top. That's for the mask. Mask. And like we did before, I'm going to make a rectangle. Then highlight all the frames. Then F6. Use the free transform. Hold the Alt. And then animate. And apply a shape tween here. I want to make it slower. Oh, so highlight all the frames and F5. Right. Then set it as a mask. Right click, mask. Preview this. So this is the same content, but now it gives a feel like the content is changing. The bottle color is changing. You can see this in websites and all
Yeah,
where product colors will be changing.
different colors. Yeah,
Ah, right,
flavors,
right.
something.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe for the automobiles, cars, and all, you can see when you click on a color of the car, you can see the color getting changed like
Okay,
this.
okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm.
Make it as separate layers, and it has to be placed exactly on top of the other one. That is properly aligned. Otherwise, it may be moving. Here, it's not moving because it's properly aligned. Okay, like this. You can use a mask. So that is one. And then I'll take another one. Okay. So any animated element can be moved along a picture or any element so that we can see it as a moving content. Okay, now I'll make a background using a rectangle. I made a shape. I want to make this fit to the screen. So select this, then go to align panel. If the align panel is not there, go to window menu and enable align. And then here, turn on align to stage and match size, match width, match height, or you can say match width and height together, the third button. And then center, center. Like this, we can align. And I'm going to highlight one portion and then let's change the color. So we're just making a background. So we got a background like this. Now the other portion I'm clicking and selecting. Don't highlight, just click and select because it is selected color wise. Bottom portion I selected. Let's take the eyedropper so the same color is taken. Then change the tint of that color. Okay, now it's a darker version of the same color. Or okay, so we got a darker version. Right. Now I'll name it as BG. Right. Lock the layer. And then I'm going to type here. Oh, sorry. It's a lock layer. Make a new layer. That's for the text. Make sure that the layer is locked. And then, okay, I typed here. And text properties are coming here with the properties panel. This is a properties panel in that. When you select any object, its properties are loaded. So I'm selecting the text, back to properties panel, and then you can see the basic parameters like the position and scale. Then the character properties are there. I'll change this font. It's already selected. No need to highlight with the text tool. Just click on it and it gets selected. Okay, choose any font. It's caps. So I want to change the color bright. So always use contrast colors. If background is darker, use a lighter colored text, and vice versa. Background is lighter, use a dark colored text. I'll make it smaller. You can just drag and make the values changed. I added the title. I want to make this title into two colors, but we know we cannot paint on the text. We cannot select it partially. So what I'm going to do is I'll select the text and modify break apart. You can also press Control B. That is a shortcut for break apart. When you click on break apart, you can see the text is separated. That means letter by letter, it is separated, but still it is individual. You can change the font and all. Okay,
Okay, it's like opposite of group.
right. And this is a breaking. The sentence is broken into words. Sorry, letters. Okay, now it
Okay,
is
okay, okay.
individual letters. See, individual letters are formed now. So that was break apart. Now see, other layers are locked, so only these things are selected. Now what happens is, if you break it again or press control B again, then what happens, these letters are now converted to shapes. See this, it's a shape. It's written here as shape. Okay, these are only shapes now, not the text. You can select it individually, and you can even edit like this. See. Okay, so now it is fully editable. It's like something drawn in Animate. It's not a text now. It is something like a created stuff. Okay, let's change the style. I'm going to draw a path. So it is fully selectable like a normal shape and all. So I'm going to draw a path like this. Oh, you have to be careful. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll draw it outside. If you draw on it, it may stick to the object. Okay, now I made the path like this. I change the color, we can see it better. Right, so then I'm moving it down on the shape. Maybe it's too much. So, right, that's enough. Right, I placed it like deselect. Now what happens is, if you try to select something, you can see it is getting selecting partially because the line is separating it. You can see top or bottom, you can select. The line is like a boundary. It's like a boundary. It's separating the thing. So what I'm going to do is, I'll select all the bottom elements. I'm using shift click. See, so you can easily select the portion. So this is completely editable. I'll change the color. I'll make it into maybe bright blue, and top, shift click. So whenever you want to edit the text, that is for reshaping or modifying like this, that time you can go for this feature. That is, first you convert it to a regular shape by pressing Control B, break apart. If it's a paragraph, first it gets converted to letters or word or whatever it is converted to letters, and then we can press Control B once again so that it will be changed to or converted to shapes like this. Right, so it is done. Now we have text with some design. You can delete the line. Now it is coming like this. Oh, this portion. I'm going to use eyedropper. Apply color. With eyedropper, you can also fill the color. Pick once and then you can fill it anywhere. Okay, now we modified it like this. Next, I'm going to highlight the full and then press F8. Okay, in the keyboard you press F8 so that it gets converted to a symbol. Movie clip symbol. Okay, so we got the symbol like this. And now what I'm going to do is select this. And once you convert an element to a symbol, we get the option to apply the color
Go.
effect and all. Yes. See. We have filters, we have color effects. All these properties you can apply only to symbols. Only to symbols. We have a symbol now. I pressed F8 and converted this to a symbol. So we can apply these things. You can apply a different tint if you want. See this? You can see the tint. You can change tint. See this? So you can modify like this using the tint feature. All the blues, all the red, and you can even go for alpha, that is for this thing, transparency. If you want to apply some transparency, you can do this. You can add some brightness. And if you go to advanced feature, you can see the alpha is there, red value, green value, blue value is there. You can increase or decrease the percentage value of the thing. Okay, then below that, you can see the filters. If you click on filter, the plus mark, make sure this is selected, then go to filters. Remember, it can be applied only to symbols. If it's a regular shape, you won't get these features. So click on the plus mark, and there you can see lots of options or effects like the drop shadow, blur, glow. So many things are coming here. So if I go for this drop shadow, we get a nice shadow for this thing. And this shadow can be edited by moving to angle. Look at this. You can change the angle. You can change the angle. You can change the distance from the object. You can adjust the distance and other properties. You can knock it out. You can convert it to an inner shadow. You can hide the object. Only shadow will be remaining. Okay. So if you want it to be inner, so it goes inside. Okay. Right. And here blur option, you can make it softer. The shadow can be made softer by adjusting the blur value. By default it is 4 pixels. You can blur it if you want, so it gets softer, maybe 10 and 10 like this. You can blur the thing. And the other one is the darkness can be adjusted by changing the strength. See this? So you can make soft shadows, maybe looking better. Shadow softness, that's with the strength. And you can apply the quality also. Quality is like if you increase the quality, the size will be more. In 100% size, this will look okay, so I'm not increasing the quality. So it shows like this. So these shadows and the effects can be applied to these things. Okay, next thing, I'm going to make a duplicate of this. Alt and drag. I'm holding the shift also, so we get a duplicate like this. Now the problem is, I want to make some changes in this. This is a symbol. We know that this is a symbol. And if I change, I want to change the colors. So what I'm going to do is, I'm using the paint bucket. I'll pick a color and I'll change the color like this. See what is happening. If I change the color, the other one is following the change because it's the same instance
It's
of the same symbol.
mm,
So we cannot edit this alone. So
separately. Yeah.
yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm moving to library. There you can see it's the symbol is there. Then right click on the symbol name. We get the option to create a duplicate. Click on duplicate, it's text, copy, and let's drop this one. So it's a copy of the same symbol, but it is a duplicate one. So we can work on it. See, if I make a change, I'm going to change the colors. Then what happens? It's not affecting the original. So if you want symbols to be edited later, what we need to do is you can make a duplicate of the symbol and then work on it. Okay, so I'll drop it here. I think I saved the change. Okay, it's okay. Then I want to flip it like a reflection. So what I'm going to do is right click, transform, select the object, then right click. You can also do this from modify menu, transform, and then you can see the flip vertical, flip horizontal. I'm going to flip it vertical, flip vertical, right? So it's like a reflection. Okay, so it's like a reflection. We're getting it like a reflection. So if you want to edit, double click, then you can make whatever changes you want. I don't want this color. I'll use a eyedropper. Eyedropper is for picking properties. eyedropper, click. So we can change like this. So if you want to make any sort of changes, you go for this, go this way, okay, instead of uh, directly taking the duplicate. So again, it's a symbol. And then for the on this symbol, I'm going to apply the color effect and alpha. Alpha is for transparency. So let's make it transparent. So that gives a nice effect. And we have a transparent content here. This is transparent now. Again, if you want, you can add the shadow for this one also. Filter, drop shadow. So a shadow with the same settings are applied here. Okay. And then uh, the angle, everything you change according to the other one. And the blur, position, everything you can change. Distance, right. Control enter. Okay. I think the background is to either you need to make it into a lighter one. I'm converting this background to a symbol so that we can apply some tint or other properties. BG I'm naming. That's the background layer. See background. The text layer I'm locking. Select the background. Go to style and I'm using the tint feature. Tint. Okay, you can pick a tint, whatever tint you want to add. See this. So instead of editing it manually, you can directly apply the tint feature because it is now converted to a symbol. See, any tint can be applied to the existing color. Remember, this color is or blended with the current color. So the current color was blue. Onto that, you can add some green or red or whatever it is till you get the desired output. So what we need is the text to be highlighted. Okay, I think this is okay. And then for further changes, you can adjust the red value or the green amount, the blue amount, all those stuff you can change here. Right now, control enter. So we got this animate this thing added. Okay, now let's move. Give a simple animation. Uh, Lock this. I want to animate the content. So what I'm going to do is add the keyframe. So it's a simple animation. The last frame, it's here. First frame, it's inside. So give it a classic tween. Click OK. Control Enter. Right. Now, I'll increase the number of frames. F5, hold the F5 button. Okay, Control Enter. It's flowing like this. Okay, now another thing. We know the frame rate is 24 frames per second. Or you press Control J, you can see it. See, the frame rate is 24 frames per second. What if I increase the frame
Okay.
rate? I'm going to make it into 60 frames per second. 60, click OK. Now what
Slower, I
happens?
guess.
No, see, it's very rigid, like it's coming like a solid thing. It's
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
very smooth it is.
Very smooth.
Yeah. So when you reduce frames too much, what happens is it'll be coming like a tuck 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 thing. It will be coming. Okay. If it is more frames, it'll be coming like a very smooth animation will be coming.
Smooth animation.
Right.
Okay.
So when you're making title animations or other stuff, you can try this thing. Okay,
So
adjusting
higher
it.
frame rate is better.
Not always, because when you're creating character animation, then if you use higher frame rate, you have to work a lot. Okay, so when you're making character animation and all, keep it as a lower one. For other stuff like this, maybe infographics or titles or other stuff, that time you
The
can
commercial
increase it. Yes, then
frame
you
rate,
can
yeah.
use this, right? You can use like this. And I want to stop this at the end. So what you do, I'm moving to the last frame and click on that frame. Now go to window, and from the window I'm going to use a code snippets. I'm using code snippets. In this code snippets, you can see action script is there, HTML5 is there. We are using action script 3.0. So expand action script and then timeline navigation, expand timeline navigation. Now I'm going to choose this, stop at this frame, and then right click, add to frame. Right. So I did click. Right. Okay. It's added. See the script is there. There's black letters is the instruction. Okay. You can see the instruction, what to do if you want to make some changes. The blue is the script. The blue one, stop. This is the script, action script 3.0 script is there. So it's a preset. So you
Okay.
added it. If you know, if you're a programmer, you'll be typing it. Okay, for designers, the
Okay.
designers actually they don't like typing, so they can use this code snippets. Okay, so the code snippet is assigned. When you apply the code snippet or the actions, these are the actions. Okay, when you apply the actions, you can see automatically a new layer is formed for the actions. In that, it is showing the letter A. This A says that there is an action here. This is an action applied to this. Now control enter and check. I can see that the title will not repeat. Stop there, right? So we stop that there at that particular frame. This way you can control the animations. Okay, so in this we tried some text, working with symbols, applying the effects on it, like the shadows, tint, all other stuff, applying it. And with the text, we tried converting it to a shape by using Control B, or the break apart feature, so that you can edit individual letters like a shape. You can reshape it, you can apply changes, you can apply colors, or whatever you want, you can apply. Then we converted it to a single movie clip so that we could add the shadow and other properties. And we tried duplicating the symbols from the library so that we can edit individually. So different effects can be applied by duplicating a symbol. Otherwise, if you edit a symbol, all the copies or all the instances of the symbol will be affected. Okay. So
Okay.
here we did it with a duplicate symbol. Okay. Now we'll uh, continue after a break.
Okay. Okay. Done, sir.
Yes.
Yes.